Okay, and welcome to week 2. This is lesson 1, and today we're going to talk about some really important things regarding reducing inflammation and calming the stress response. So here's a quick overview of some things we're going to be talking about, and just a reminder that chronic stress is more than just an emotional experience. It has a real measurable effect on the immune system. For women with autoimmune disease, understanding how stress drives inflammation can help you reclaim agency over your symptoms. So today's lesson really focuses on how stress activates internal alarm systems and what we can do about that to help calm those symptoms down. So, when you're under stress, your body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. In short bursts, these are really helpful, but when stress is chronic, these hormones dysregulate the immune system, leading to a state of persistent low-grade inflammation. And that inflammation can worsen fatigue and pain and gut issues and flare-ups. So, by calming the stress response, we can help the immune system start to recalibrate. So, studies show that women with autoimmune conditions report higher rates of childhood adversity, chronic caregiving stress, and workplace burnout. This is something I've seen over and over in my clinic, that these things seem to just be really prominent in women with autoimmune. These stressors don't just live in the mind, they change how the body operates at the cellular level. So, chronic stress keeps the immune system in a state of hypervigilance. And this leads to excessive immune activation, which starts to attack the body's own tissues. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. Initially, it helps to reduce inflammation, but when you're constantly stressed, your cells become resistant to cortisol's effects, and inflammation actually begins to increase. Meanwhile, cytokines, which are the chemical messengers of the immune system, are also released in excess. And elevated cytokines have been linked to autoimmune flares, fatigue, and even depression. So this is where stress meets biology, right? It's literally changing what's happening in our bodies. So let's start with something simple and powerful. This is the 4-2-6 breath, and this is just another breathing technique that's really helpful for calming the immune system. So we're going to inhale for 4 counts and hold for 2, and then exhale for 6. So you can repeat this for 2 to 3 minutes. The longer exhale really stimulates the vagus nerve, which helps the nervous system shift from fight or flight into rest and repair. And this practice lowers the heart rate, reduces cortisol, and promotes immune balance. So I know we've done some breathing techniques before, and this is just kind of a review, but I do like us to practice it together because, again, the more you are practicing this and making it a part of your daily routine, the more it's really sticking with you and starting to activate that rest and digest within your body. So just, really quick, just a deep breath in for 4. We're going to hold for 2 and then out nice and slow for 6. Great. And I really encourage you to continue practicing that on your own, maybe later tonight or when we finish up. So breath work is one of the only bodily functions that is both automatic and under conscious control. That makes it a bridge between your nervous system and your awareness, which is really important. Research shows that slow, intentional breathing improves heart rate variability, or HRV, which is a key marker of nervous system regulation and resilience, especially in those with autoimmune disorders. So I know it might feel like I'm kind of beating a dead horse here on the breathing techniques, but it's because it's really, really, really important, and it's been shown over and over again in research that it's really effective in helping to reduce inflammation and calm the nervous system. So the breath reset that we just did, the 4-2-6, use that daily. At least 3 times daily is really where you start to maximize that. Use it before meals, appointments, or transitions, right? If you notice that your anxiety is getting a little high or you have a stressful meeting coming up, it's a great way to just check in with your body. Also, micro movements we talked a little bit about last week. So gently just rolling your shoulders and stretching your spine or swaying side to side. This moves stress energy through the body and really helps to release that tension. And then environmental cues. Bring in calming signals, right? So really being aware of your environment, soft lighting, calming music, or just peaceful scenes, nature, imagery, whatever brings a sense of calming to you is really important. These subtle cues remind the brain that it's safe to orient to the now. So be curious, and kind of see what works for you as far as your environment. So these tools work best when they are practiced daily, not just in crisis, like we've talked about. So choose one time in the morning, one midday, and one evening to regulate, to really start to build this routine. Repetition helps your nervous system build a new baseline of safety. And over time, these practices reduce reactivity and support more consistent energy, mood, and immune balance. So again, repetition is key. A 2020 meta-analysis found that breath-based meditation reduced inflammatory markers in chronic illness patients, which is, again, really good news for those of us who are trying to eliminate symptoms of autoimmune disease. Harvard research links poor stress regulation to elevated C-reactive proteins, which is a common marker of inflammation. Another study has shown that women with PTSD are significantly more likely to develop autoimmune diseases. This all may or may not be news to you, but it really does highlight the role of unresolved stress and how that manifests in our bodies. So take a few moments to reflect on your own experience. What stress triggers do I encounter most often? What autoimmune symptoms seem to flare after stress? Which calming practice felt most helpful or doable today, right? This is kind of a review and just really checking in with your body, getting a better idea of what works for you and how you can start to build this routine for yourself. This awareness is the foundation of building your own nervous system care plan. So it needs to be tailored to you. You are unique. Do what works for you, but be curious and figure out what that is. So you've learned that calming the nervous system is not a luxury. It is a health practice. And you now have some tools to lower stress, reduce inflammation, and support your body's healing response. So again, this was kind of just a review and recap, but in our next lesson, we're going to explore how stored trauma energy can live in the body and how we can begin to release it in a gentle and safe way. So don't forget, there's always a companion worksheet available in school. It's under week 2, lesson 1. And I really appreciate you all joining me here today and showing up for yourself doing this work. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you in our lesson 2.